Folks, that time is finally upon us. It is officially week 1 of the 2025 NFL regular season. I am Dom. That is Gonz. We're here to bring you something completely new, something we have not yet done before. This is the first time ever that Dom and Gonz are doing full slate predictions going into this week 1. We decided it would be something fun to do with you guys, just to let us know if you disagree with us, agree with us, leave it in the comments, all that fun jazz, just to bring you guys some more content as we continue to explore this new platform that we're on. But before we get into any more of the fun stuff, Gonz, how you feeling? It's week 1. We're getting some football.
Yes, and then what I always like to promote this too. We're living up to our name, not everything Ravens, but around the NFL. And here we go. We're doing all around the NFL. Every other team that's playing, all 16 games. I'm excited. This is going to be awesome. Just a little bit more on that. We're going to do a little bit of a competition. So each of us are going to have our scores recorded. Well, not scores, but we're just going to pick the teams who win. We're going to record who picks who, and then we're going to total it up at the end of the year and see who's got the best grand record. Is it going to be Gonz? Is it going to be Dom? You can leave your predictions in the comments, but I think there should be like a punishment or something for the loser. So we'll talk about that.
It's a good thing it won't be me, so we don't really got to talk about it.
I mean, if you're not good, if you always lose to me in Madden, then you're probably
okay. I beat folks before he even let you hit you with that cheese. I've beaten him a couple of times, not a lot of times, but I've beaten him a couple.
Well, we played a couple weeks ago in college, and he got embarrassed.
Okay, I didn't get embarrassed. The game just cheated for him because you know what? Okay, this isn't even the topic of conversation. We're going to talk about We're going to talk about real life football. Okay, so we're going to get into it before I get a little upset. All right, so go into the first game, okay, of the week. Obviously, it's a highly anticipated matchup, divisional matchup, Thursday Night Football. The official game, which is on my birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Dom. The first official game of the week, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles for Thursday night. Gonz, who's taking it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this was easy. I mean, Dallas, they just traded away Michael Parsons, as you already know. That was in a record-setting trade, making him the highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if that was – who's the winner of that? I mean, Dallas, I know they got some first-round picks and a couple other things. They also got Kenny Clark for the D-line. But there's pros and cons to that. I mean, you're giving away your franchise player. But at the same time, you are getting a little bit of capital. So, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have traded him because he's the staple of my franchise. Cowboys are a mess. Their offense is not terrible. I think Prescott is going to score some points in this game. But defensively, I don't think they're going to have much answers for Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. So I'm going to give – but I feel like this game might be closer than you think. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Eagles 31-20.
Okay, 31-20.
Where the Eagles are pulling away – well, we're not giving scores, but whatever. 31-20. It's going to be close going into the fourth quarter, and then the Eagles are going to pull away. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to disagree with you here. I think the Eagles do take this one. I just don't know. Obviously, Dallas now has George Pickens. They have, pretty much everybody who they had coming back in from last year. So I don't really think, but I just think the Eagles, man, they're just a great team. They're a great structured team. They're going to come in. They're already locked in, as you can see. Like, they're not even thinking about their past Super Bowl. They're locked in to try to get another one. They're trying to go back to back. So I just think they're super locked in. I think the Eagles do take this one on Thursday Night Football for sure. No disagreement with you there.
Okay. So, before we go to the next game, were you about to head to the next game?
I was about to head to the next game.
Okay. There's a couple things we should probably speak on. I know, this wouldn't be a Dom and Gonz Sports Talk show without us mentioning the Baltimore Ravens, so I think we should throw a couple nuggets in there. Jair Alexander returned to practice this week. So hip, hooray. Let's go. He's on track to play this weekend per Harbaugh because he said if he practices this week, he should be on track to play. Isaiah Likely got an update from Rappaport this afternoon. Actually, it was in the morning. Doubtful to play in this game, but he is recovering well, and he should be back early in the season. And that is fine. That is fine with me. We got Mark Andrews. We got Charlie Kohler. That's okay with me. And then the last person we need to bring out is Patrick Ricard, still not on the field yet. And that's a little concerning to me because he is such an underrated player on this team. He is a absolute bulldog when it comes to blocking. I mean, he is just unbelievable. He can pancake Project Pat, whatever his name is. It would be a loss in the run game if he were not to play. So yeah, hopefully he can get back out there and it's nothing, but it might be a little bit more serious than we're letting on.
According to the injury report, it is a calf injury for Pat Ricard. So I don't know the full extent of it, but he has not practiced in a while, which is a little bit concerning. Like you said, he's an engine that really helps this run offense go, especially for Henry, helps blocking for Lamar. He's just a really big part of this offense. So I'm hoping that if we don't see him week 1, that we can just keep that run game going. And if we can see him for week 2 and he's healthy, I'm perfectly okay with that. But if the Ravens are trying to be cautious with him and he does not play week 1, I fully understand because he's a very integral part of what makes the engine roll with this Ravens train that's going on. So wishing luck for Pat Ricard and hoping that, again, likely he's back soon. But like you said, taking precaution is never a bad thing when it comes to players that are very integral to the core of what the Ravens like to do. So definitely okay with that.
Maybe we'll have better news when we do pregame live for Ravens Bills.
Over go. We still got some time. Tomorrow's Thursday. Well, technically, So hopefully, it's good. Okay, we ready to move on to the next one?
Yep.
All right. So we got some rare, but it happens. We got some Friday night football coming from Brazil. The Kansas City Chiefs will be taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, divisional matchup ×2, second divisional matchup in a row this week. For some primetime slates. Gonz, who's taking it?
I can't take the Chargers. I want to, but I just don't trust them enough to get it done. I mean, they've given Kansas City some competitive games in the past, and I know, Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, whatever. It's just not going to happen. I think the Chiefs do take it, and it's going to be 23-17. I don't know why I keep giving scores, but I'm going to keep doing it, okay? Because I think I'm in the moment right now, and I'm not going to record the scores. We're just going to record the team, so just bear with me. Anyway.
I love it, though. We're in the moment. It's football. Honestly, yeah, I agree. I think it's the Chiefs probably taking this one. I know I'm a low-key Chiefs hater. I get it. I do have Chiefs hate. It's all right. We all have teams we don't bang with. That's cool. But it's hard to admit that the Chiefs do have a winning record against the Chargers. They haven't really been able to really put the Chiefs away in a while. So I'm probably going to go with the history here and take the Kansas City Chiefs to win it in Brazil for the NFL's first international game.
If this was at the Chargers' home, maybe I would give them a little bit better of a chance. But I just think the Chargers they'll probably charger it in the end. And
charger it in the end.
The Kansas City Chiefs will take it. They've owned the Chargers recently. They really have.
I mean, they have. It's hard to say. Like, if the Chargers want to bounce back and prove us wrong, I'm completely.
Let me not be disrespectful. The Chargers aren't what they used to be with the Brandon Staley and the jokes and the memes that we would see online.
They're trying to turn things around.
Let me not say they're going to charger it. I think
I get it. Yeah,
that's a thing in the past. I think I was just trying to be funny. So let me apologize. Yeah, I just think the Chiefs are going to get it done. It's week 1. They're going to be a little rusty. So, a close game.
Fair. That's completely fair. All right. So now officially getting on to Sunday. Sunday matchups coming in at number 1 for the slate. We got Tampa Bay heading to Atlanta, Georgia to face the Falcons. I'm going to give my prediction on this one first. I'm not going to lie. This one was a little bit – I know that people will probably lean Tampa Bay. Would I blame them? No. But I'm very interested to see what Michael Penix has coming into his first season as a legitimate starter for this team. But then again, Tampa Bay's experience with Baker back there, Mike Evans. There is no Chris Godwin just yet, but he should be coming back soon sometime this season. Emeka Egbuka will be probably coming into that wide receiver 2 spot, filling in for Godwin. I think this game might be I don't think this game is a blowout. I think this game will be closer than a lot of people anticipate, but I'm going to lean Tampa Bay here for this matchup.
Yeah, and I really thought you were going to pick the Falcons and make it interesting, but I'm going to pick – I mean, Penix, again, it's week 1. This is early. I think Penix is going to settle in nicely because he did some good things at the end of last year. But Tampa Bay, I'm taking Baker Mayfield. He's revived his career completely in Tampa, whether you like it or not, because some people are Baker haters. It's true. It really is. I know some personally. And I'm happy for Baker, though, because the situation with the Browns, I didn't care for him on the Browns, but, once he was actually on another team, I could appreciate him more. Yes, I'm biased to AFC North teams. So, yeah, shout out to Baker in that offense because they've really turned it around. Give me the Bucs, but I don't think this is going to be that close either. I think the Bucs are going to dominate this one from the start. They're going to come out hot on offense. They're going to go down the field, get an opening drive touchdown. I just don't trust the Falcons' defense. I mean, they have made some improvements, I know, but give me the Bucs in a pretty dominant game.
Okay, Gonz has the Bucs dominating Atlanta in their matchup for, technically another divisional matchup. Speaking of divisional matchups in the AFC North, we got them Bengals, them kitty cats, heading on down to Cleveland to face the Browns. Flacco versus Burrow. This is going to. I feel like this matchup in particular is going to be interesting. It's Joe versus Joe, a Joe Cool versus a Joe Cool, if you will. As much as I want to be hilarious and take the Browns here, I have to go Cincinnati. That offensive firepower is just absolutely ridiculous. They were able to get Trey Hendrickson back on a 1-year deal. If they did not get Trey Hendrickson back, I'm not going to lie, it probably would have been a little more questionable with this, but they got Trey Hendrickson back. They have Shamar Stewart. They were able to sign their rookie to that 4-year deal. They're trying to pick the pieces together and trying to salvage this team as much as they can. I just think that Cincinnati firepower is just nuts, and they can literally drop 30 on your head if they are feeling gracious enough to do it. And I just don't know if Cleveland can match them point for point consistently. I just don't know if Cleveland has the firepower to do that. So if I'm taking anybody, it will probably be Cincinnati because they'll probably outscore Cleveland. If they don't get any stops, you could probably bet that they will probably outscore the Browns. So I'm going to take Cincinnati here.
So if you look at the Cincinnati Kitty Cats and you look at their past couple seasons out of the playoffs, out on the outside looking in, what can you direct that to? Well, bad starts at the beginning of the season. They start out bad in September. They are starting out 1-4. Last year they started 1-4, 2-5, 2-6, one of those terrible records. And they're always trying to get out of a hole by the middle of the season, and by December, it's a mad cow chase, just scrambling, doing whatever they need to do to get back into it, and which they almost did last year. They ended up getting to 9-8 and knocking off the Steelers in Week 18.
They did indeed start 1-4 in the first 5 games.
Right, and taking a tough loss to Baltimore in that overtime game. This game, and look, I know, and another thing I forgot to mention, and we should have mentioned this, Dom and I are going to get a one special upset of the week, and this definitely is a contested for that, but again, this is AFC North ball, so anybody can win at any time. So with the Browns, if the Browns did pull that off, would it be super surprising? No. So therefore, this is not going to be my upset game of the week. But then again, you look at the Bengals again, they've got to start playing better in September, right? And you think this is probably the opportunity to do that.
At some point. Right.
You've got Jamar Chase back, and like you said, they got all those guys on defense, and it's looking like the Bengals can bounce back and do that in week 1. But give me the Browns. Browns are taking this one at home. I think the struggles continue in Cleveland. The Bengals have issues in that stadium, guys. They got destroyed last year. Or no, it was a couple years ago when Deshaun Watson was the starter. Yeah, and they got absolutely shellacked It was like 24 to something, like 3 or maybe 0. They might have got shut out. I can't remember. And even the year they made the Super Bowl, they had a Monday night meltdown against the Browns at their home against Jacoby Brissett. Give me the Browns. It's Joe Flacco. He knows them super well. That defense, I don't think it's going to be that much better than last year. And I know they got the players. I think this could potentially be a high-scoring game because Flacco could get it done. So give me the Browns in an upset, but not for us AFC North fans because we know what could happen. It's crazy. Remember when the Steelers beat them week 1 in overtime off of 2 missed field goals in 2022? It's going to be an insane type of game like that. While there's rust in week 1, but there's also insanity. So give me the Browns.
That's actually going to be fun to watch. I'll be locked in for that game too. It's going to be very interesting to see.
I'm going to be staring at my screen.
And, when Joe
I've got Sunday ticket, guys, so I'll be able to watch every game that I want, and I will be dialed in on that one and another one coming up that we're going to talk about.
Joe versus Joe. I'm excited. All right. Going into this one might not really be as complicated. We have Miami heading to Indianapolis to face the Colts. Who's taking it, Gonz?
This one's a little bit interesting. I do like what the Colts are doing on certain parts of their team. Like, I understand the quarterback situation. I would have really gone with Anthony Richardson. I know Daniel Jones is probably the veteran and the better option for, short-term success, but I think you need to let Anthony Richardson get some playing time under center because he's been hurt a lot. And he hasn't been especially awful before his injuries. Like last year, he was doing relatively decent, I thought. I know they took a tough loss to C.J. Stroud and the Texans. He was killing it in that Steelers game before he went out. So I don't know, man. I think they should go Richardson. Then you got the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, Tua turn the ball over, whatever you want to call him. He'll probably be fine in this game. This one's kind of tough, though, because I could also see Miami having some problems. But it's inside. It's not cold. Give me the Dolphins. I think they're going to get it done. They'll force, and Daniel Jones will make enough mistakes to cost them the game.
Yeah, I just think the Dolphins will probably take this. Now, the Dolphins have had question marks pertaining to some pieces that they've lost, trying to put together that defense. Obviously, they still have Tua. Obviously, they still have Tyreek Hill. They have Jalen Waddle. They have Devon Achane, Jalen Wright. Like, they still have the good all their offensive pieces, but that defense – it's a little bit of a question mark, especially that secondary. I mean, they don't have Jalen Ramsey. He's now a Pittsburgh Steeler. I mean, is there anyone on that secondary that can really be a challenge? They no longer have Javon Holland played for that team, correct? If I'm not mistaken, they no longer have Javon Holland. He's a New York Giant. So how will this secondary hold up? We don't know for sure. But like you said, I think just like in the Bengals situation with Tua being back and having his 2 top receivers, I think that, the firepower between Miami and Indianapolis, I'm probably going to go with Miami. So I'm leaning like you towards Miami winning this game. And the jury's still out on Daniel Jones. I don't really know much about Daniel to really say he can lead the Colts to a victory here. If he does and proves us wrong, I'm here for it. But I'm just leaning towards Miami here. I think Miami takes it. Now we have another one. Those Las Vegas Raiders are heading to New England to face the Patriots. Who's taking this one?
This is actually a pretty interesting matchup. I know that you look at the teams and you're like, oh, they're garbage. If you actually looked at their rosters and their upgrades this year, this is actually a pretty damn good game. Geno Smith is now the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. They've got Ashton Genty. Get to see his debut in the Raiders uniform. Pete Carroll's debut. A lot of debuts over there for Las Vegas. And then you got, on the other hand, you got Mike Vrabel's debut as the coach for New England. And you got Drake May coming in year 2. Travion Henderson. This game could go either way, guys. This one's kind of tough. And I'm going to go ahead and give the slight edge to the Vegas Raiders just because I think that Geno Smith is going to be slightly more effective throwing the ball than Drake May. But then again, I could be wrong. I would not be surprised if the Patriots pull this off. I really wouldn't. That's how close it is, in my opinion. But give me the Raiders. I think they're going to get it done, get just enough of it done to get the win. Who are they have at wide receiver again? They don't have Adams. Who is it? Is it Jacoby Myers? Did they get him back?
They do have Jacoby Myers. He's still looking for a contract extension, but they have yet to get
They got Brock Bowers. I forgot about him.
Brock
That's
Bowers.
going to be a good target.
Yes.
He'll get some catches.
Absolutely. Make sure I get the full roster here before I and Myers did say he'll be ready to play week 1 despite the contract. So I'm guessing they will all be set to play. But I'm going to make sure I pull up this depth chart to make sure.
Amari Cooper is now on the Raiders. Forgot about him.
And they have that speedy rookie, Dante Thornton Jr.
Oh, my God. If you guys played Madden 26 Ultimate Team, that dude's the best receiver in the game. He's a 72 overall, and he absolutely cooks. You Madden players know who I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, Amari Cooper coming back to the Raiders. I like the signing. That's his home team. That's who drafted him. I mean, they've got some decent players. They've got Cooper, Bowers, who's going to be their star, and then Myers, who's been very solid for them in recent
really good
years.
last year, too.
Give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
Yeah, if there was going to be an upset, this is the one I'm choosing. I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders. The New England Patriots are favored.
This is your upset of the week?
This is my upset. I'm going to take the Raiders over the Patriots in New England. I just think that Geno's more competent at the quarterback position. He's definitely an upgrade of what they had last year. So I think from there, he'll probably get the ball out more to those receivers, especially Brock Bowers, who we all know is a stud. I think he was tight end 1 in fantasy this year. So we saw what he did last year. He's pretty much seen as the best tight end in football last year, despite the Raiders' record. So, yeah, give me the Raiders in this one. I think they take it over the Patriots in week 1. I just think Drake May might need week 2 to really, get into a rhythm.
All right, so if this is going to be your upset of the week, what is your score prediction?
If it's going to be my upset, I think it's going to be 23-17 Raiders. Take it 23-17.
All righty. And now, let me just be clear on one thing. It doesn't have to – your upset of the week doesn't have to be just regarding with what Vegas is saying. Like if you're taking, for example, if the Ravens beat the Bills, that wouldn't be considered an upset, would it? I mean, technically it would, yes. But would we?
I think it leans more to the upset factor because the Bills are at home. So that's kind of what adds that.
The Ravens are a good team, though.
They are.
They are. Crazy upset. Like I'm picking the Browns to win that game, and yes, that's considered an upset. But I think that there's something more stunning that no one will see coming.
Yeah, absolutely. But
if that's still what you want to go with, then go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's definitely games where you're going to be like, holy crap, this team is favored way more than the other team. So there's always going to be those. The margins are always going to be different, right? It's always going to be a lot of these games. If you look at these lines, there's the highest line I'm seeing right now is in Denver, Tennessee, which we'll get you later, of course.
Okay.
But that's probably.
I was just clarifying in case you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I know everything's going to be different for sure. But if there was an upset as far as that, I would probably pick Vegas, even though we all the rosters are definitely. Even though Patriots have done very well at upgrading their roster. It's veteran compared to a second.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is completely up to you. So I'm putting that as your game of the week. That will also be its own separate record for us at the end of the year. That's why we're having score predictions for that. So if we both predicted and we were wrong, we would pick the person to get the dub, maybe give them a half a game or something if they got the score close.
Okay. All right. So moving on, we got those Arizona Cardinals heading to New Orleans. Let's be real here. Everyone is counting the Saints out. They're being looked at as the worst team in football. Spencer Rattler has been named as the starting quarterback for the Saints this year. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna dive too deep into this. I'm just gonna give it to the Cardinals. I'm just being real.
Right. I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I just discuss here. Cardinals take it. I'm not spending any more than 10 seconds on it. Give me the Cardinals. The Saints are just an absolute mess.
Kellen Moore debut coaching game, which is nice.
He's got a dumpster fire to clean up, and they're just always under the cap, and they're over the cap, and they just always feel like they've got something wrong. The money situation for the Saints, I feel like it's just always in shambles. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, just gonna take the Cardinals here. Now, moving on to the next one, we got them Pittsburgh Steelers heading to face the New York Jets. This is an interesting one, right? Justin Fields facing off against one of his old teams, who didn't really give him an opportunity to really let him shine because they let Russ start, even though he got them to a decent amount of wins before he was benched. Mind you, this one for me is a little bit difficult because when you look at the Steelers' roster, right, defensively, they're still the Steelers. They're still a hard knock, rough them up type of defense. They're still the same defense, right? But then you look at that offense. You got DK Metcalf. You no longer have Najee Harris. He's a Los Angeles Charger now. You just signed Jaylen Warren to a 2-year extension. After DK Metcalf, you have Calvin Austin Jr. and the young man that they drafted last year, Roman Wilson, right? And then you have Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, and recently acquired Jonnu Smith. But then you look at the Jets. You got Justin Fields. You got Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. And I'm not going to – this might be ugly. I'm not even going to lie to you. This is going to be ugly. But I have the Steelers winning it in an ugly one. I'm not going to lie to you. I won't lie. I got the Steelers winning a very, very ugly one. This game might not be that fun to watch. In my opinion, it might not be that fun to watch.
So this one, again, is tough because I really want to pick the Jets because they're home. Fields, a semi-revenge game, but you also got a Rodgers semi-revenge game.
Oh, yeah, Rodgers revenge game, too. I forgot about that.
You mentioned that I just lost my train of thought. Oh, their offense. You're not confident in their offense.
Which one?
Pittsburgh's.
Yes.
I'm still on the Steelers.
Yes.
There are people out there that really trust this offense, and they really think that it's going to be very effective. They think that, yes. And it's, well, yeah, I guess it's only Steelers fans, but still, it hurts me to even hear that. I mean, he's 40 years. Like, what? Like, I don't understand.
I'm looking at
even if he does do well this year, he's old. You have no long-term successor. Will Howard is injured. Mason Rudolph? Heck
and
no.
then Skylar Thompson at third string.
Oh, and the Steelers fans were loving him in the preseason. And he did do some good things, actually. After, remember him for the Dolphins. He was bad for the Dolphins. I'm sorry. He did do well in the preseason. I just can't get behind some of these insane Pittsburgh Steelers fans that really think they have a chance to outtake the Ravens for the division. I mean, I hope I'm not looking at – I'm not eating my words because I really don't think they're that good. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hate. I don't know. I just have a feeling that Rodgers is probably going to play decent against the Jets, and because of that, I'm going to pick the Jets. Hell no, Pittsburgh. You're not going to win week 1. I think Justin Fields could have a great game. He could run the ball really well, and I want to go against Dom. So thank you for picking the Jets.
Steelers.
I think they really have a chance, though. Let me be serious. I know part of this is me just being a hater, but
hey, man, at least you admit it.
It could go either way, though, guys. I would not be shocked if the Steelers flat out destroy the Jets. But there's a chance. There's a side of me that thinks this is going to be an ugly game, and the Jets could win it in a way that the Steelers play. Like how the Steelers pull off those upsets where they keep the game close, 10-9 type of thing. And I think the Jets have a chance to do that. They can absolutely dominate Rodgers. He can't scramble. He'll scramble a little bit and maybe buy some time. But I think if they can stop the run, stop Jalen Warren and whoever else it is, Caleb Johnson, stop DK Metcalf. Steelers fans are so excited about Calvin Austin. He's just a tiny little guy that has speed. I think they can win this. I'm not a fan of Freiermuth. He's okay. Give me the Jets. Give them to me.
All right.
Let's take a stunner.
Well, all right.
I don't think anybody's picking the Jets.
No, I don't think
anybody's still not my upset of the week yet. You'll all see in a second.
All right. Moving on to this next matchup. We got another interdivisional. We got another divisional matchup. Here we have the New York Giants, the new look New York Giants heading to Landover, Maryland to face against the Washington Commanders. Honestly, this is another interesting one, right? Because obviously everybody is going to probably look at the Commanders and say, yep, winner, ning, but, right? I don't think you should be so quick to overlook the Giants. Here's why. I'll be really quick with this. New quarterback, Russell Wilson, somebody I'm not saying he's his old self. He's not Super Bowl Russell Wilson, but definitely better than what the Giants had last year, right? You got Malik Neighbors, you know what I mean, who came off a stellar rookie season, okay? You still have one of the most ferocious defensive lines in football. You know what I mean? Jerome Tracy. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I got his name right before I just spew nonsense at you guys. I want to make sure I actually get his name. Tyrone Tracy. My apologize. You still have Tyrone Tracy. Mind you didn't do a lot to upgrade the wide receiver room. You still have Neighbors. You still have Slayton. And you still got Sexy Dexy in the middle. You draft Abdul Carter. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. So, and Brian Burns, not to mention Brian Burns, who they acquired via trade and then paid him that extension. I think some will be quick to overlook the Giants in this game. But I'm still going to take the Commanders. I did all this just to still take the Commanders, but I'm rolling with the Commanders in this one. I think.
So you think this is still an auto win for the Commanders?
I don't think it's an auto win. I don't think it's going to be like Commanders.
Just say it is. Just say they're going to win.
I don't think Commanders are going to bing, bing, bong. But
you don't believe it. You know they're going to win. You know
I don't think it's an auto win. The Commanders, I think, will win this game. I just think the Giants.
That's all we needed to hear.
I think
my turn. This is going to be my upset pick of the week. Lock it in. The New York Football Giants are going to go into Washington, and they're going to stun the Commanders and their home fans 26-20 or 26-23. I think Jaden Daniels has a decent game, but I think that Russell is going to have a breakout game.
What makes you think that? Before we move, what makes you think that?
Well, if you look in recent history, this Giants team, they've always just given Washington issues, even when they're good or bad. Last year, they should have won them against them, and that was with Danny. Danny Jones has played his best football games against the Washington Commanders. Go look it up. He plays really well against them. Last year, he played one of his better games against them. And had Malik Neighbors not dropped a wide open pass on fourth down, they're probably winning that game. And the Commanders are starting 0-2. And who knows what happens that season if they started 0-2.
All right, so just to pull up some stats, Daniel Jones has had a career record of 5 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie against the Washington Commanders.
Okay, the record's not that good.
His career stats against them, 1,862 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions over 9 games played. He also has 410 career rushing yards against the Commanders.
14 touchdowns, only 3 picks.
Only 3 picks.
5-3 record. It should have been 6-2 if Neighbors holds on to that ball. And there were a couple other games I remember where the Commanders eked out a win, but the Giants were winning the whole time. There was one time on like Thursday Night Football a couple of years ago. So, yeah, that sums it up right there. He played his best games against them.
So this is your upset. This is what you're going with.
I'm going with the Giants, man. I think they have a real chance. I mean, you just don't – if they can get into their head, if the Giants defense can just make a couple plays, they don't have to stuff the Commanders. If they could just make a couple plays, force a couple mistakes, they can win this.
All right. Well, I'm going Commanders. Gonz going Giants for their first matchup of the year. Moving on to the next one. Them Carolina Panthers.
That's a shocking one, wasn't it?
That was shocking. I thought you were going Commanders.
No.
Moving on to the next one. We got a matchup against some cats. We got the Carolina Panthers heading to Jacksonville, Florida to face off against those Jaguars. This is another interesting one. These are two teams who are really trying to figure out who they are. Right? Both teams have a quarterback selected very high in the draft who is really just trying to cement themselves as to where they were selected. Actually, now that I think about it, both of these guys were chosen number 1 overall in their respective drafts. We got Bryce Young going against Trevor Lawrence. I think for this instance, I'm probably leaning. This one's actually another interesting one. I think you know what? I'm leaning towards Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville takes it. I think with the addition of that stud known as Travis Hunter, I think that gives Trevor Lawrence another weapon to throw the ball to, along with Brian Thomas, who had a heck of a year last year. Travis Etienne bounce back year. I'm hoping so because I have him in fantasy. Travis. And new head coach, new system. I think this could be maybe Trevor Lawrence decides he wants to be a number 1 overall pick again. We'll find out, but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars eke one out against the Panthers in this matchup.
Yeah, I not much for me to say about this one either. I mean, Carolina could maybe sneak up in there and make it a good game. I think this has got to be a better year for Jacksonville. I mean, it was a lost season for them last year. Trevor Lawrence, I think he'll have a decent bounce back year. I always thought Trevor Lawrence was not terrible. I thought he was pretty decent for them. So give me the Jags. I think they're going to start the season off right, 1-0.
All right, Jags going 1-0 for our predictions. All right, now we're moving on to them 4:00 games. And a matchup that we mentioned earlier that I said we were going to get back to, we got the Tennessee Titans with their new leader, Cam Ward, first-year quarterback, heading to Denver to face off against them Denver Broncos. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Denver's winning this game. I don't think there's much to discuss. Denver was a great team last year, led by Sean Payton with Bo Nix. Cortland Sutton is back at it again. I just that defense is good with Pat Surtain leading the way as usual. I don't think there's much to discuss here. I think Denver's taking this one.
Yeah, now this one is another one to be a sneaky good game, and because if Cam Ward is out there, which he should be, he could give them a fight because I think he's another guy that's got potential. This will be his first ever start, and this is going to be a tough matchup because Denver actually is a pretty solid team, and their defense has always been prided on being decent, especially last season. Bo Nix into year 2 as their starter. I think he can take off even more. Give me the Broncos, though. I think while in some off chance the Titans could pull this off, I just think the Broncos are going to win this. It's at home. It's in Denver. Season opener. Cam Ward needs more experience against starters, so give me the Denver Broncos.
All right, getting into another divisional matchup. Them San Francisco 49ers will be heading to Seattle to face off against the Seahawks. Again, the Niners were demolished by injuries last year. Everybody was gone. CMC didn't play. Ayuk could not play. I mean, Purdy was just throwing to any and everybody out there. The defense was wrapped. It just was not a great year for the Niners this year. And a lot of people have the Niners bouncing back, like kind of a resurgence year for them after what happened to them last year. And then you talk about Seattle, led by Mike McDonald, former Ravens defensive coordinator, who upped and left us. Still a little sore about that, Mike, but it's all right because, head coach jobs, that's some money. Got to feed your family. Still hurt, though. But for this matchup, Seattle's at home. But I think I'm going to go with the away team here. I think San Francisco pulls it off. I need to see what Seattle is like with this Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith, and Jigba regime now at the wide receiver position. They do no longer have DK, as we mentioned earlier. He's with the Steelers. I would like to see how that connection is. And Seattle is starting with Sam Darnold, who did have a good year last year. It was even in MVP conversations when he was with the Minnesota Vikings when J.J. McCarthy went down in early, I think before even the season started last year. So I think I'm trusting in Purdy in this one. I think just to get the win, I have not seen Sam Darnold outside. I have to see what Sam Darnold does outside of the O'Connell system that was in Minnesota before I jump to conclusions about what the Seattle team could be. But I'm going to go with Purdy in this one. I think they eke out the win.
Yeah, I think that it's time. I think it's time for the Niners to get back to what they are. And I think that this is a perfect matchup for them to start with. They've usually had Seattle's number for the past couple matchups. I think they beat them last year at least once, even though they were decimated by injuries. Purdy, he's going to get his guys back. Jawan Jennings, he's got a good rapport with him. Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall, who's got potential to come on strong this season. George Kittle's still there. CMC should be back and healthy. Yeah, give me the Niners. Give me the Niners for I think this could be a blowout. I am not a fan of Sam Darnold. I think, everybody has their fairy tale seasons. I don't think he's going to repeat what he did last year. He might be decent, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as effective as what he did with the Vikings last year. It'll be sort of like a Case Keenum situation. If you guys remember back in 2017, Case Keenum was just unbelievable that one year for the Vikings. Got him the NFC Championship and got knocked off by Nick Foles and the Eagles. I think it's going to be a similar situation. And I feel like the Vikings felt the same way too because they let him go. They got rid of him. So yeah, give me the Niners in a dominant win.
Okay, moving on. This one is going to be fun to discuss. Another divisional matchup here. Them Detroit Lions are heading to a new look Green Bay Packers team. Before I officially give I think I'm definitely going to watch this game for a plethora of reasons, of course. As Gonz mentioned earlier, Micah Parsons is now indeed a Green Bay Packer. And that trade had a lot of – now, I know we didn't officially discuss the Micah trade on the podcast, but I know Gonz touched on it a little bit earlier. In my personal opinion, the jury is still out on this Packers team, in my opinion. I still need to see what they're going to look like. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon just yet for this Packers squad. Jordan Love, he is a really good quarterback, definitely streaky. We're just going to have to see. But as far as this matchup goes, you got a Lions team who was decimated on the defensive side of the ball last year, kind of like how the Niners were decimated everywhere. They pretty much were calling up guys off the couch to come and play for them because it was that bad. You saw what happened to them in the playoffs last year. The Washington Commanders literally just went tit for tat with them offensively. That defense was just battered. Aiden Hutchinson was out for the year, but he is back. I think most of the guys are back coming into this for this Lions team. I don't know if Micah plays. We have to see for sure because he's been a limited participant in practice with his back injury. But I don't know. I think I'm leaning Lions. I think Lions take it in this first matchup. At least this time around. I think the Lions get the win over the Packers.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. I think I'm going to have to go with Detroit for this one too. I am not, and I've said this after last year, even the year before, I just don't know if I fully trust Jordan Love. I really don't. He's decent. He's definitely decent. I know he had a really good stretch his first year starting for the Packers. But last year, I thought he was just pretty average for the most part. I mean, he had a lot of turnovers. There were times where he was effective. But, every time the Packers would play somebody decent, they would lose. I think they went – did they? Oh, my gosh. I think they went completely winless in the division last year. I think they got swept by both Minnesota and Detroit. I know that for a fact. And I know they did lose to Chicago at the end. So they either went 0-6 or 1-5. So I can't remember if they won their second matchup against –
I'm going to double check that real quick for you.
So I just think the division is just way ahead of them. Maybe this year will be better. And obviously Micah Parsons should help. But, again, I don't know. It's just one man. And they got rid of Kenny Clark in the middle. So I don't know, man. The Packers are a team that they have potential to be one of the NFC's best. I just don't think they are going to be. I think they're going to be probably the same as last year. They'll be decent. They'll get double-digit wins, and then they'll lose in the wild card.
Yeah, so taking a look at what you said. So in their first divisional matchup, they lost to Minnesota. In their second divisional matchup, they lost to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
In their third divisional matchup, they beat Chicago by 1. They lost to Detroit. Then they lost to Minnesota. Then they lost to Chicago.
Yeah, not very good. Give me the Lions.
All right, heading into the next one, we got another. I think is going to be a good game. We got them Houston Texans heading to LA to face off against the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this is another interesting game for me. The Rams, in my opinion, are a top team in the NFC. In my opinion, I think from top to bottom, they have a really good roster. They did not, like we said earlier, Cooper Kupp is Seattle Seahawk, but they were able to get a really great addition to replace him in Devontae Adams. They still have Puka Nacua. Calvin Williams just signed his extension. Jared Verse is still a force on that defensive end. The Rams are nothing to play with, man. I mean, last year they gave the Eagles a run for their money in the playoffs, and who knows how that game could have ended. I have them as a top team in the NFC. I think it's going to be tough. Houston is also battling some injuries. Tank Dell is still not going to be able to play. Joe Mixon battling injury. I think he's actually on IR, so he's going to miss the first couple of games. They still have Nico, of course. They still have Danielle Hunter on that end of the ball with Will Anderson, Stingley. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I think I'm going Rams in this matchup. I think the Rams will have what it's now. The Rams this season will all be on Stafford's health. Stafford is having a back issue. He has been practicing. I think he is set for week 1 in this matchup. But I think for this one, I'm leaning Rams.
Yeah, this could be a good game too. Houston, C.J. Stroud, I think he took a step back last year. I think everybody would say that too. He just wasn't nearly as effective. He had a lot of turnovers. And I think that this is a big year for Stroud now going into year 3. And he's get a chance to show it on Monday night. Is it Monday night or no? No, is it still 4 o'clock?
It's still 4 o'clock.
For the game. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at your document. Never mind. 4 o'clock game in LA. This is a chance to show it because, again, LA is a stingy squad. I know they're not the best team in the regular season, but they're one of those teams that if they can get into the dance in January, they can turn it up. They really can. So taking that into effect, though, I think the Texans have a real chance to win this. just because, the Rams start off slow usually. I think last year they started under 500 again. So I'm going to still take the Rams, though. I think I've picked enough different games than Dom where it's okay. Give me the Rams. I think they should be able to do it. But again, I would not be surprised if Houston did pull this off.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one for sure. Now, folks, we are not going to give you just yet our prediction for the Ravens-Bills game. That's the next game up on the slate. We're going to wait to bring you guys that for our pregame show that we're being expected to bring you guys very, very soon. So we'll discuss that in more detail because we'll be using that video to discuss the Ravens-Bills matchup heading into Sunday night. So we're
just
not
like we normally do.
Just like we normally did. Just nothing's changing from that this year. But we're going to wait to bring you that, our predictions and our just discuss that a little bit further to go into detail. We're not going to use this video to do that just yet. So we're going to skip the Sunday night's game and we're going to go straight to Monday night where we do get that matchup that Gonz was talking about earlier. Those Vikings head to Chicago to face the Bears. Who's taking it, Gonz?
This is another interesting matchup. Two quarterbacks. Well, you got Caleb Williams going into year 2. A lot of people thought he wasn't very good last year. I thought he did some decent things. He beat Green Bay at the end of the year. He should have beat Jaden Daniels if it wasn't for a miracle pass. I think getting Matt Eberflus out of there was a big W for them. And getting Ben Johnson from the Lions is huge. I think that could pay dividends, especially later on. Now, don't be surprised if they have some issues still because, he's still got to get acclimated. But I think the Bears can have a chance to be better than last year. I don't think they're going to lose games in the ways they did last year with bad coaching. I like Caleb Williams, and I think he can be good. And then you got on the other side, you got J.J. McCarthy taking his first NFL season opener start. Regular. I don't know why I said that. NFL regular season start against the Chicago. In Chicago, division rivalry. I know these matchups are always tough. The Bears give the Vikings issues. I know last year the Bears were playing them tough. So I think I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to get it done week 1. I know people are picking the Vikings, but it's an unknown with McCarthy. McCarthy hasn't played consistently since last year. He was dominating the preseason. Give me the Bears. I think that they can get it done.
I think I'm going to go the opposite of you here. I'm going to go the Vikings. I'm just looking at, as much as we have not seen J.J. McCarthy be an actual quarterback in the NFL just yet, Justin Jefferson, I think, has proven himself to be quarterback proof.
That's true.
I mean, it doesn't matter who's throwing him the football. He's doing something with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I think I'm taking the Vikings here, and Flores is back as the defensive coordinator. That defense was causing havoc for a lot of teams last year. It was. Now, mind you, the Bears did improve on the offensive line, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. We're going to wait to see what happens Monday night, of course. But I think the Vikings win this game. I think the score is going to be close, but I think the Vikings do take this game against Chicago. I think, they'll take this one. We'll see what Chicago becomes later on as the season develops, as Johnson gets more comfortable with the play calling. I'm assuming that he's going to be the one calling the plays, of course. But yeah, give me the Vikings in this one. Ladies and gents, so we just gave you our full slate predictions for week 1. This is how we think week 1 is going to go. Let us know if you agree with us, if our takes are absolute garbage. If you love our takes, let us know in the comments down below. We're very excited to start bringing you guys these type of videos because it really just helps us get in tune with more of what you guys would like to see, and just to add more content to the channel, to give you guys some more insight of the football, our football acumen, and just things we like to talk about. So very excited to try to bring you guys these videos every week. Hopefully these videos I'm right more than Gonz is. We'll see about that later in the year. But yeah, so we will again be bringing you our Ravens pregame show like we did last year. That's not going to change. We're excited to bring that to you guys. We're going to try to get it to you hopefully Saturday, have that video up for you guys to be able to see, to give you our full analysis for this Ravens game. I believe they'll probably be heading to Buffalo probably that Saturday anyway. So it'll give us some leeway to actually bring you guys that video. But Gonz, any extra notes, anything else on this slate that we might have missed or anything that you still wanted to address?
No, I think we got it. We both got our upsets of the week. Dom's going with the Patriots, 23-17. I'm going with the Giants, 26-23. I think mine is clearly more stunning.
Yeah, I think yours is more stunning. It is. I think we'll just have to see. But yeah, I think
it'll probably be a blowout for the Commanders just because I said something. So my apologies, Giants fans.
I just think the Raiders win this one. I just think Geno is he's just going to – I think his experience –
I think they win it too, but I don't think that's going to be in his consideration.
It's not going to be – it's not like the, oh, my God, upset. But as far as, like, who it is, like, it's probably going to be the game where it's going to be like, oh, okay.
The oh, my God upset.
You know what I mean, But, ladies and gents, thank you again so much for supporting our content over the years. I think it's been years.
Year 3.
Over the years we've been doing this podcast. Again, we're going to try to bring you guys more of this as time goes on. It's actually didn't take as much time as we thought to go through the whole slate, which is pretty dope. So hopefully we can get these out to you swiftly and nicely like we did tonight. But again, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your grandmama, your mama, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, all about the pod. If you would like to come on the show, please don't be afraid to leave us a comment, send us an email. All that stuff will be in the description below. But until next time, until the Ravens pregame show, I'm Dom. That's Gonz. We'll catch you guys later as we officially kick off the NFL season.